I am not my breath. I am not even my body. I move beyond my mind. I move beyond thinking. I move beyond even a single thought. And I invite Samuel and my guides to speak through me. Welcome back. A greeting. We use welcoming you to another realm. Not just one of us, dear ones. He has spoken of the upper room. We assemble and we speak. For all is energy in our realms, dear ones. If we wish Samuel to say something, he knows instantly. Dear ones, it matters not which one of us speaks. I often speak. Of the love beyond measure that each one of you are, as a reminder, dear ones, that just as your atmosphere that surrounds you right now is experiencing turbulence, a storm, you call them, moving in, on your human level, you also experience storms, emotional storms. These reminders that you are love beyond measure.
Can you speak up, Sarah?
These reminders that you are love beyond measure help you weather these emotional storms, just as this storm that surrounds this house right now shall pass. Any emotional storm within your being shall pass too, dear ones. He feels this. And yes, when you are in the middle of the maelstrom, sometimes you can lose sight of the love that you are. That is why these spiritual practices you practice daily are helpful when the storm hits. Even during the middle of a storm, you can sit quietly in gratitude, dear ones, For each breath you take is a breath of love bestowed on you by the Creator. This one we speak through one of his favorite meditations is to sit there and just breathe in love and exhale gratitude. Focusing on love and gratitude, dear ones, quiets the storm. Take your attention off it, so to speak. Opening you to a clarity that all may not be as bad as it seems. For each and every one of you in this room have weathered many storms in your lives, have you not? These storms are teachers. Reflect on how you have responded. You chose to come into human form yet again. You chose to come into human form to grow, to expand. There are those who do not awaken to this, and there are those who awaken to it in such a way that they shine their love so brightly. We ask you to search for the lesson. We ask you to still yourself and listen. Surrounded each one of you are my angels, rendering assistance when asked. Call on them, talk to them. They are listening. They are always with you. You never walk alone, dear ones. Never. In your humanness, you may think you are so very alone. Sometimes be aware. Thoughts such as these lower your vibration. You know this one sits in meditation prior to a session to raise his vibration, to make it easier to connect. That's why we tell you, thoughts of gratitude and love raise your vibration, make you more aware of the love that surrounds you, the love that is guiding your very existence in this realm. For every thing you can say that is in your way, there are thousands of things that you should be grateful for, dear one. Gratitude is a powerful tool for you, especially when you are in an emotional storm, so to speak. Become aware of how this storm is affecting you. Notice what you're not noticing when you're in the depths. There is an ebb and flow to everything. Surprises along the way too. Some startle, Some make you smile. Who would have thought we'd be speaking of a storm lesson tonight? This one often thinks of what the lesson will be. Sometimes we give him little snippets, sometimes we don't give him anything. For in this process, he has learned to have faith and trust, surrendering so the words can flow from his mouth. Memories wash across his mind. When we told him to step out of channeling by himself and bringing it forward in a group, and yes, that very day we talked to him much, for he had many concerns. Could he even do it? And here he sits many months later, and yes, he still questions sometimes. That does not bother us one bit. Is that not how you learn? The more often you do something, the more comfortable you get with it. Has not your meditation changed since you started it? This spiritual path each and every one of you are on, look at it as you would a baby. Look at your spiritual path like a baby learning to walk. How often do you scold yourselves for not being spiritual enough or not growing fast enough, not understanding? No one scolds a child when they're learning to walk and they stumble and tumble. Encourage. Encouragement is all the baby receives. Assistance and encouragement. As we said, each and every one of you is surrounded by angels, providing the very same. And again, we speak of awareness. Have there not been challenges in your life that while in the midst of it, you did not see the deeper meaning of it, only to reflect back sometime later and see the whole event with a different set of eyes, a deeper understanding, a broader perspective? Are there any questions, dear ones?
I'm curious, Samuel, why is it that some people love storms and some people are scared to death of them?
Why do people love storms and why are some scared to death?
Mm-hmm.
It's no way a question.
Well, because I love storms. It's like the winds of change. It's all that old energy. It's moving through, and
Yes.
so
That's a different, is it just what you are speaking of, dear one, is just a different perspective. Maybe the one who does not love storms has survived a very devastating storm with destruction of a home or a vehicle. This one we speak through. was roofing his mother's house one summer when a storm like the one right now came up. Blew the ladder off the roof. He and his brother knew they were in trouble when they saw the 2x12 that they had nailed together started floating in the air. Thankfully, the roof was not that high, and they jumped off and huddled in the basement. When they heard the winds subside, they came out and looked out the picture window. Their willow tree had split in half. It was huge. It had driven the neighbor's engine of his car 4 inches into the asphalt. He carried some fear from this. The sheer devastation of that storm. Different perspectives, dear ones.
And given how all the good, the beautiful, and the holy that we have now, all those in this room or in the sound of your voice ever, if we wanted to experience even more of the good, the holy, and the beautiful, how could that happen now for any of us that wish that?
What did we speak of before, dear ones? Love, gratitude. This spirituality you speak of and how to enhance it, so to speak. We speak of being the love that you are. Simple acts. Often this human mind wants to make a big deal of things. You have to do a grand act. What about the simple acts? A simple act of kindness, just a smile. When you're in the grocery store, smiling for no reason. Smiling at everyone you meet. Holding love in your heart and sending love as you drive down the road to everyone that drives by. Being grateful in the morning when you wake up, for is not each breath you take a gift. The joy you experience when you see a child laugh. Sharing that. How to grow in love. Share it. The source is infinite. Beyond measure. That's why we say you are loved beyond measure, and you can share love beyond measure, dear ones. With your thoughts, with your actions, with a kind word, with a hug, or with the compassion to just sit and listen as someone bears their heart to you. All of these are acts of love. All of these are raising your vibration. All of these are allowing you to be the love that you are. Just as we talked a moment ago about these perceptions of storms. Do not you have triggers, learned responses to certain things? Be it even a person shooting a glance in the store that you take the wrong way. You have no idea what that person is truly thinking. Why not just send them love anyway and not run the old program? The one where you may resist, may wish to kick into fight mode. I don't agree with that statement. You can lovingly disagree with someone, dear ones. You don't have to treat it as a battle that has to be won. This one had a program that would kick in every once in a while where he thought certain discussions had to be won. You could not let the other person state that and not try to change their minds. Who are you to feel, to know that your position is the only proper one, the only right one? Put whatever name you want on it. Just as some people love storms and some people are scared of storms, some people are triggered by certain words. Feelings arise. This one we speak through for many years. He still struggles with this. Certain feelings he felt were supposed to be suppressed. Crying. We speak to you of crying. For many, especially males, consider this to be a sign of weakness to cry in front of others, and we tell you, dear ones, let the feelings flow. Release that energy. Do not bottle it up inside. He still finds himself resisting this when he cries. It is a strong pattern in him. He has to come to the awareness to allow it, to let the sobs come, to let the tears flow, to let the energy release. That is the whole purpose of crying, is to release. He found it odd when he experienced tears of joy. He's had moments where a certain event or music, especially music, would bring him such joy. He would have tears coming from his eyes. He would sob. You've seen this in these sessions where his eyes weep. There is so much love flowing through his vessel. You came here, dear ones, to experience everything in this human realm. Yes, and your humanness, you want to put labels on all of this stuff, especially tags like good and bad. There is a contemplation you can sit with, dear ones. What if you just view every situation that occurs as neutral? Be the observer. Sit in your presence. Even if you wish to judge, become aware when you do. And love the fact that you became aware of it. Love the fact that you even tried to sit and view everything as neutral, even though on a mental level, some of you are just struggling. How can you say that is not bad? Flip the coin over. See it from a different perspective. This one has visions of Gene Kelly dancing in the rain. Joy. That vision is full of joy. That vision is of a man dancing and bringing all those who witnessed it to a different perspective of what it would be like to be standing in the middle of the street in the pouring rain. Is that not a shift? For those, I'm sure, who watched that movie and immediately commented, I would never do that. And we ask you, why not? Again, we speak of perspective, we speak of awareness. Did you just not feel that release of energy in your atmosphere?
I find it interesting because I'm going through my own little personal storm, but yet I'm feeling very calm here amongst our energy, and even with this big storm going on outside tonight. I don't know. I guess I thank you.
Love yourself, dear one.
Trying.
This again, is that not perspective?
Samuel, this is probably crazy, but when I do my cards, whatever angel cards, whatever cards, and I've been getting they're direct answers. I mean, I don't even have to ask the question. I just say, "Tell me who is giving me those answers?"
Did not we just speak of guides and angels surrounding you, dear one?
I guess they are.
You are very good at asking and answering your own questions.
Well, sometimes the human in
You
me,
do not trust, is what you are telling me. You do not trust.
I'm working on it. I believe, but yet, there's still a little doubt, but yet I believe it.
This one is the same we speak through. He's been doing this for over a year, yet he still has doubts.
But it's so on the mark, I mean.
Did not we say?
Yes. And when I in desperation asked you, did you hear me call you like a week or two ago when I asked for help? I'm just curious.
Look at your calendar, Samuel.
Oh, well.
I think you got your answer.
I heard you.
Trust and faith, dear one, is what you're struggling with. You ask the questions and yet you wonder who's listening.
Well, I need
And then you respond that you're getting the perfect answer.
be patient
And then
with
you
us.
question, oh geez, where did these come from?
How can this be perfect, right?
Oh. Well, thank you anyway.
Samuel, I did not know you were available to help throughout the week, but I will put you on speed dial.
you answer the phone?
Well, I don't know. I called Samuel and Sarah. I didn't ask Thomas. I don't know why I make him mad.
Why would you make him mad?
I'm joking.
Samuel, are
Good.
you an angel?
No. I am an aspect of his higher self. Sarah is an angel. Thomas is a guide. Thomas has had earth incarnations. He no longer needs to incarnate. But he chose to be a guide, to help others as they awaken in this realm. You can call on these, but you each have your own. Do not think you do not have your own. They have been with you. Your guardian angel has been with you always, every incarnation, no matter how many you have had. He uses this term interchangeably, even though we stated that Samuel was not an angel. From this perspective of being a light being, a spiritual being having a human experiences, you are all light.
Our guardian angel is the same as our higher self.
We get into a definition quandary now, do we not? Like we said, this one has a much looser definition of angels than some. Some, and I would say we agree with this rather than his definition. Angels are higher energies. Angels have not incarnated in this realm.
And the higher self, to me the higher self was always a part of the God being. But I don't know.
We're all the God being right now.
You're all God beings, dear ones. I mean, how many drops do you need to take out of the ocean before it's not the ocean? How many rays from the sun do you need to take away before it's not the sun?
I have another question, if I may. Samuel, when I'm working and blending, sometimes I don't necessarily know what goes into a special blend, and I will start pulling different oils, and my question is that my higher self that's giving me that intuitive pulling of special oils, or is that, what is that?
You spoke of being led, did you not?
Yes. But what's leading me? Is that my higher self? I'm not
Or is
sure.
that a guardian angel?
Or a guide.
Or a guide.
It might. We cannot speak of every instance that you have been led to do this. But do you not think that on an energetic level, your higher self can be in contact with the higher self of the one that you are blending it for, and they are leading you to select what is appropriate?
Yes.
All is energy, dear ones, and it mingles.
Okay. Thank you.
In your humanness, you wish to look at everything as you see around you, your physical bodies. You do not realize the energy soup, as we like to call it, that you walk around in, that you wade around in, that is influencing you guides, angels, higher selves. In your humanness, you wish to put labels on everything.
Just say thank you.
Well, Samuel just gave us labels. He just gave us labels with Thomas.
Dear ones, how you identify. When we come, we try to relate to the way you identify in this realm. We see you as energy. There are those among you that see energies. There are those among you that have felt energies. We have discussed this before, how different the realms are. This realm, you see all these things in duality. You see you're as an how do we say this? You are an individual. In the energy soup that we see, you are just a part. Back to the rays of the sun. How many rays are there?
All of them.
Do not you delight when you see a break in the clouds and you can see different beams of sun poking through the clouds, giving you a glimpse. Again, we speak. How do we say, one of the agreements you make when you step into human form is you agree to occupy this vessel, this human body, with its senses and its sensations. We tell you from a perspective of the light being that you are. He does not even want us to say this. You are nearly blind. That is why we speak of the magnificence of what you are and the love beyond measure that you are. If you could truly see. We have spoken of this before. All these little waves of energy we talked about, these winks, these pats on the back, these smiles, these thoughts of love you send someone, just ripple through this sea of energy, affecting so many more people than you can imagine. So many more light beings than you can imagine, for you are all light beings. That smile you gave at the grocery store today to the clerk, maybe that brightened up her whole day, and she smiled the rest of the day, and it rippled through every person that walked through her line. You know not that when you walk out the door. You do not see that. You do not sense that. From our perspective, we see all of that. This love that you spread, you will see when you transition the beauty of what you created in this lifetime. And again, we tell you, you are loved beyond measure, and you are powerful beyond measure. And in this realm, it is difficult for you to see how your actions impact so many others than the single person that you greeted warmly or gave a hug or told them that you loved what they did or sent them energy. Just a loving thought. These loving thoughts you have. Thoughts are energy, dear ones. They ripple through the sea of energy we talk of. How many of you in this group sent love and energy to dear Lisa when she said she was sick? Know that that is received on her spiritual level, whether she acknowledges it or not. She received all those loving vibrations from you folks. Again, we try to give you a perspective of the magnitude of what a single loving thought can accomplish.
The lightning bolts that have been coming through here are hitting our eyes. So how does that affect us? Curious.
It's just energy, dear ones. This one sits here with his eyes closed and he thinks the lights are going back on in the room. Perspective again. All is energy. Energy is being released. No different than looking at the sun and then turning away and looking and still seeing the sun. This image that seems to be burned into your eye for a while. The intensity of the energy is what you're speaking of.
Yeah.
We ask you, you talked of perspective and how you love storms. Maybe that is one of the reasons certain people do not love storms, is they do not like the intensity of it. They do not appreciate the startling aspect of it. When all of a sudden there's a flash and a huge boom.
Well, I got a lot of fire energy in me. Guess that's it.
Without the rains, the trees would not green up. The flowers would not bloom. The grass would not grow. The crops would not grow. It's all part of the cycle. All a part of what we said before, the ebb and flow of nature, of the environment.
So Samuel, thank you so much for coming and sharing this storm with us and your thoughts on the storms of our lives.
Thank you, Samuel.
In every life, a little rain must fall, does not it?
Mm-hmm.
Some storms come, some storms last longer than others. Some storms are stronger than others. But they all pass, do they not, dear ones?
Thank you for your wisdom.
We so appreciate you all gathering. We thank you in return for gathering with us. We appreciate you, each and every one of you, and we love you so very dearly. And we bid you adieu, dear ones. We bid you a very loving adieu.